All right, here are headlines for the 4 o'clock hour with Alejandro Solana.
They're driven by the new Palmetto Ford Truck Super Center. Why buy your truck at a car store? Palmetto Ford. We know trucks. Want to get back to Dame Watch?
Yeah, anything going on?
Nope.
All right. Moving on.
Damian Lillard met with the Portland Trailblazers yesterday. Nothing has really changed in regards to him potentially wanting out of Portland. It appears he is going to allow them to take their time and try to rebuild their roster prior to the season.
All right.
Bum.
Really? You want to go on record saying that?
What'd you say, Jimmy?
You're on your own, buddy.
This
Alejandro Solana on the blog post. Dame Lillard, bum.
This is a story of, I saw a lot of people say this, that this is a couple that everybody knows should break up, or a marriage that everybody knows should end in divorce, but nobody wants to be the person to actually break up with the other person. And I do feel like this describes that situation perfectly.
I don't know about that. If he enjoys playing in Portland, he obviously does. He's had so many opportunities to flex a little bit and get out of there. He likes playing in Portland. He has a very good career. I mean, he's never going to be one. Correct me if I'm wrong. LeBron James needed a championship on his resume, right? Because he's LeBron James. Kobe Bryant needed a championship on his resume. Michael Jordan. I mean, the Dame Lillard legacy is going to be what, Solana? He's not one of the greatest 20 players of all time. He's not, a figure like Charles Barkley, who, I just, does Dame Lillard have to win a championship to change it? Does he vault into the top 25 NBA? He doesn't.
But he's not, because he's played in Portland this entire time.
No, I get it.
Bingo.
I get it.
I'm not saying that he's Steph Curry. I think Steph Curry revolutionized the NBA to a certain extent. But Dame Lillard is pretty damn close in terms of talent level and how good he can be and has been, and how he's performed in the most clutch moments of his career. And the only thing separating him from being in that conversation is what? Hardware. And why doesn't he have any?
But in other words, he goes to the Knicks. He does it in the biggest media market that there is in the U.S., right? And he wins a championship. What?
He would be, if he was in a bigger market, to Solana's point, Hawk, if he was 11 years in New York, he would be looked at way different than he is now.
That's unquestionable. I like that. I understand.
So now he's seeing it, that I need to go to somewhere and I have to be successful. I think if
he's
he wins,
successful is my point.
No, but my thing, Hawk, I think if Portland rebuilds and brings in a monster roster and he wins a championship in Portland, it won't even be as important if he goes to another city and really wins a championship somewhere else.
But important to whom? That's my greater question.
To basketball. We don't look at him like, Hawk, to be honest, to your point, he'll never be LeBron, he'll never be Kobe, he's not going to be those guys.
That's what I'm saying.
But he'd be looked at as a Chris Bosh. Can he be looked at as one of those type guys? Hell, Robert Ory, who's a friend of the show, has 6 championships, and he's looked at higher than a Damian Lillard because
I don't think
he's
so.
Big Shot Bob.
I don't think so, and I think that he's already on the level of Chris Bosh. I think he might be looked at in NBA circles as better than Chris Bosh.
For sure.
And like Bosh, his relevance, not his relevance, but it made him look better with the championships he won in Miami.
There's no question. I'm not arguing that. I mean, you get a championship, it's better than not having a championship. I'm just saying, I think we're putting a lot of our stuff on it. If he's happy in Portland and he's a super successful basketball player, and you and I just agreed he's looked at as a better basketball player than Chris Bosh, so he's got to go somewhere to make who happy if he's happy.
Quickly, I can answer this question, Hawk. to make Dame Lillard happy.
But I'm
I'm
saying
this-
to you, but I think he's happy.
I'm this good, and y'all are not helping me out enough to get my championship.
Yeah. I mean, it's
might
Aaron
be,
Rodgers. It's Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. But I mean, that happens sometimes even in big markets too.
That's
Yeah,
fine, but
it's-
that's fine though. We would never be having these conversations though if Damian Lillard didn't want us to know that he was unhappy with the current roster situation.
This is so very recent with him, though, because for season after season, he's let it be known that he is happy. Crispy Haynes has been telling us he is happy, but we have this conversation anyway. Well, he should go elsewhere, though. They don't win with him. They don't put enough pieces around him. Like, it's a conversation we've been having. This is the first time that he has ever intimated that maybe he wants to go somewhere else.
Maybe the first time publicly that he's intimated. But
so you're an insider now?
I'm
Like,
not an insider, but it's pretty well documented that Dame Lillard over the past couple seasons has been putting pressure on the Blazers front office to make that team around him better because he wants to compete.
But that's not out of the ordinary. But that's not saying you want to go somewhere else. Any player that's really good that's not winning is going to put pressure on their team to get better. That's not out of the ordinary. That doesn't mean that he's ever said, I want to leave.
It's not out of the ordinary at all. But why are we having these conversations right now? To answer your question, to make who happy if Damian Lillard leaves to go try to win a ring? Like Crowder said, it's Damian Lillard because he's the one saying that he wants to compete for titles. He's the one saying,
No. I get it. I totally get it. What I'm saying is he also is very happy in Portland. That has to be obvious to you.
Yeah.
It has to be obvious to everyone. So I wouldn't think that he's in any rush to get out of there. I think he wants to be aware that they're trying to make a team around him a competitive team in the West. And I think if he gets assurances or even kind of the illusion of assurances, I think his predilection is to stay in Portland.
He's watched what LeBron did with Miami. He watched what KD did with Golden State. He watched what Anthony Davis did. Anthony Davis did the same thing. I love New Orleans. I love what they did for me. I can't win here. I need to go to LA. I need to go to a team to win. He's watched what these current day his peers are doing to go and get a ring, and it means something to them. To your point, it's not going to jump him in the pantheon of NBA players, but to him, to his kids, to his family, to his legacy, I need to get a damn ring before I get too old.
I think it will, by the way. I think you guys are downplaying how good Damian Lillard is. When you think of the best players across eras of basketball, right? You think of the 2000s into the aughts. Think of Kobe, LeBron, Dwayne Wade, Carmelo Anthony. I mean, we could do a couple other names as well. But then you get into that next era of basketball. The best players in the most recent era. It's LeBron James still. It's Steph Curry. It's Giannis Antetokounmpo. It's Kevin Durant. Like, I think Damian Lillard's in that conversation. I really do. He's consistently a top 10 NBA player over the past decade.
I agree that he's in the conversation, but I'm with you and Crowder. Because he spent the majority of his career in Portland, it will never be looked upon as if he had done all this in New York. And that's just the reality of it. I mean, that is just the reality of it.
What, 32, 33 years old? I mean, he could still play for 7-8 more years, and he could still win 3 or 4 rings. Like, that's not crazy to think that if he joined the right situation, which we believe in Miami would be the right situation, he could win 2-3 rings.
All right.
But you know what?
You think I'm being crazy?
I mean, LeBron, Wade, and Bosh came together. They struggled to get 2 rings.
Yeah, but hold on a second.
You're going. He joins 34-year-old Jimmy Butler. He's 33, and you get a couple 3 rings, maybe. Like, I mean, you're talking about it pretty casually here.
Not 1.
Yeah,
not 2.
Yeah.
Listen,
not
3.
Not 4.
All right.
Not
and
5.
by the way, sorry, Crowder, but they should have won 3 rings. But LeBron James tanked the 2011 NBA Finals because he didn't want Dwayne Wade to be the Finals MVP. I mean, everybody knows that.
Let's do this show today.
But listen, I just looked it up. The first website I pulled up, on NBA players right now, top NBA players right now. It's Bron, Kevin Durant, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Luka Doncic, Anthony Davis, James Harden, Nikola Jokic, Steph Curry, Joel Embiid, Kawhi Leonard, Russell Westbrook, Jason Tatum, Devin Booker, and then came Damian Lillard.
Yeah,
Is
but
a
you
is
have
a
James
champion.
Harden and Russell Westbrook
is
in
a
front of
it-
Damian Lillard. I
is
mean,
a-
who made that list?
But I think if you do a list, if I look through more of these websites, Solana, Russell Westbrook and James Harden would be in front of Damian Lillard.
Stop it! Come on, man.
I'll look at another.
They have more notoriety. They do. That goes into those lists. They're just more famous basketball wise.
Bingo. And
They are.
to all of us agreed his time in Portland is hurting him.
Sure. Yeah.
But it is what it is now. It's double-digit years in Portland, Solana. Like Russell, you say name basketball.
Carlos Stanton wanted to leave Miami and go play in New York because he's one of the greatest hitters MLB has ever seen, but you were never going to see it in Miami.
Crowder, that list might be from 2018.
Let me see. CBS Sports has him as 14.
But we're really like, okay, that's fine. Maybe this year, just because he was hurt for most of the year and Portland was irrelevant this year. But man, think back to some of the most iconic NBA postseason moments of the past decade. And Damian Lillard, Dame time, the three-pointer. Remember in Paul George's face, him curling at the top of the key, knocking down game winner after game winner after game winner. I mean, the dude is a proven winner. He just hasn't been with the supporting cast necessary to actually go contend for titles. He's a top 10 NBA player over the past decade. Like that, I don't think that's arguable.
Sporting News, Devin Booker, John Morant, Jimmy Butler's in front of him on some of these. Kawhi Leonard's obviously in the top 10. We know LeBron. We know all these guys. Solana, we know he's a good player, but we're talking about recognition and respect over the sporting world.
Listen,
his name is not popping up.
I'm ready to have the Kawhi Leonard conversation if you want to as well. I mean,
Kawhi's a dog, Hawk.
Nah. I mean, is he?
Yeah, he is.
Is he?
Yeah, he is.
Dude lucked out with the craziest lucky shot of all time with Toronto. And now he's a dog because he very, very easily could have no rings and more missed games than played games.
Well, he would still have a ring. 2014
San Antonio.
Finals MVP, San Antonio. He's pretty good in that series.
All right, I don't
you know
have
what?
That conversation anymore.
And I'll go to. You want to go Kawhi Leonard? Kawhi Leonard would be higher on this list if he had a damn personality and he wasn't an alien.
100%.
And I think Dame is the same way, being where he plays. It's hurting his legacy.
But I'll tell you what, if Kawhi Leonard didn't have those 2 rings, it's a whole different conversation about him.
Yeah.
If I didn't have hands, I probably wouldn't be where I am right now.
Well, I mean, someone, how would you have gotten into that hotel room? Yeah, like that, Jimmy?
You like that, Jimmy?